Hello, friends. There have been at least 32 so-called accidentally missing nuclear bombs since 1950. In many cases, the weapons were dropped by mistake or thrown out of the plane during an emergency, then later recovered. But 3 US and few Soviet Union nuclear bombs have gone missing altogether. They're still out there to this day, lurking in swamps, fields, and oceans across the planet. The ocean is deep and dark, hiding secrets we may never find. Among these secrets are nuclear bombs somewhere, waiting to explode. They remind us of how dangerous the world can be and how easily things can go wrong. Let us unlock few dark and dangerous secrets around us so that we can come out of the fool's world and live in reality. On January 17, 1966, 2 U.S. military planes crashed in the sky above in Palomares, Spain. The crash dropped 4 nuclear bombs. 3 were found on land, but 1 fell into the sea and disappeared. The U.S. military searched for weeks using submarines and special equipment. Finally, they found the bomb deep underwater, wrapped in its parachute like a ghost. But when they tried to bring it up, the parachute opened underwater and the bomb sank even deeper. It was a scary moment, or was it a deliberate attempt? After a few months, the bomb was eventually recovered, but the land around Palomares is still radioactive, raising questions. Was the nuclear bomb really found or deliberately placed underwater? People there are still affected by what happened, and this was just one accident. Once again, in 1958, another nuclear bomb was lost near Tybee Island, Georgia. During a training exercise, a plane carrying the bomb crashed. The pilot dropped the bomb into the water to save the plane. The bomb was never found. Some people think the bomb is still dangerous. They worry it could explode if someone disturbs it. Others think the bomb is harmless because its radioactive core was removed. But no one knows for sure. The bomb is still out there, buried under the ocean floor, waiting. But wait, the US isn't the only country that lost nuclear weapons. The Soviet Union also had accidents. In 1970, a Soviet submarine caught fire and sank in the ocean. It carried 4 nuclear torpedoes, submarine nuclear bombs. The submarine is still down there, 16,000 feet below the surface. The torpedoes are still inside, slowly rusting away. In 1968, another Soviet submarine sank in the Pacific Ocean with 3 nuclear missiles. The U.S. tried to secretly recover the submarine, but it broke apart during the operation. The missiles were lost again. No one knows what will happen if these weapons break open and release radiation into the ocean. Throughout history, the United States and the Soviet Union have lost multiple nuclear bombs. Officially, these incidents are labeled as accidents: aircraft malfunctions, submarine mishaps, and misplaced warheads. However, one question remains unanswered. How can the world's most powerful nations, capable of reaching Mars, conquering Moon, but fail to track their most destructive weapons? The US and the Soviet Union documented several instances of lost nuclear weapons, known as broken arrows. Governments claim these bombs pose no immediate threat and that retrieval efforts have been unsuccessful. But with modern technology, satellites, and deep-sea exploration, how can they remain lost for decades? What if these nuclear bombs are not lost but strategically placed? Could they be secretly stored for future conflicts or global control? Let's understand some theories. The bombs might have been hidden in key locations, deep oceans, underground facilities, or allied territories, to be used in case of a geopolitical crisis. By claiming these bombs are lost, governments can keep them off official records while still having access to them. The fear of missing nuclear weapons keeps nations in check, making global powers maintain a state of controlled instability. Now, it raises a question of priorities. If scientists can send rovers to Mars and develop AI-driven search technologies, why can't they find these bombs? The reality is that nations have invested billions in space exploration, but seem unable or unwilling to retrieve their most dangerous weapons. This contradiction raises concerns about what world governments are truly hiding. If these bombs were to be discovered by unauthorized entities, rogue states, terrorist groups, or private corporations, the consequences could be catastrophic. And who knows, the big corporates might have access to them. The public must demand transparency. Governments should be held accountable for lost nuclear weapons, just as they are for financial corruption or human rights violations. These lost bombs are more than just old stories. They are a warning. Nuclear weapons are incredibly dangerous, but they can still be lost or mishandled. If something as powerful as a nuclear bomb can be lost, what else could go wrong? Now, what makes these governments' missing claims doubtful, we can understand it by the nuclear bomb still somewhere placed in the Philippine Sea. In the dark expanse of the Philippine Sea, the USS Ticonderoga, a massive U.S. Navy aircraft carrier, sailed steadily under a cloudy sky. It was a routine operation until disaster struck. An A-4E Skyhawk jet, armed with a B-43 nuclear bomb, was being repositioned on the deck when it suddenly rolled off. Within seconds, the aircraft, the pilot, and the deadly payload plunged into the deep waters. Despite immediate efforts, the Skyhawk and its nuclear warhead were lost, vanishing into the abyss. The official report labeled it an accident. The U.S. government initially kept the incident classified, and for years the world remained unaware that a megaton-class nuclear bomb lay hidden beneath the sea near Japan. But what shook the world was that the truth only emerged 15 years later, in 1980, when the Pentagon declassified documents revealing the accident. The news shocked Japan and the global community. The missing warhead was only 80 miles from Okinawa, a region where anti-nuclear sentiment was already strong due to Japan's history with atomic bombings. The Japanese government, claiming it had not been informed, protested heavily. However, U.S. officials assured the public that the bomb posed no immediate danger. But was that the whole story? Strategic disappearance? The case of the lost Skyhawk raises unsettling questions. Why was a nuclear-armed jet operating so close to Japan, despite official denials of nuclear weapons in the region? Why wasn't there an immediate large-scale recovery operation, despite advanced tracking technology? Could the bomb have been strategically placed for future use, hidden under the guise of an accident? Some theorists argue that the warhead was deliberately lost as part of Cold War strategy. By keeping it off official records, the U.S. could retain an undeclared nuclear presence in Asia, countering Soviet and Chinese threats without violating treaties. To this day, the B-43 bomb has never been recovered. Modern deep-sea search technology has mapped the ocean floor in detail, yet the warhead remains officially missing. Could it have been secretly retrieved, or does it still lie somewhere in the ocean, waiting to be found or waiting to explode? If the bomb ever resurfaces, either by accident, environmental shifts, or unauthorized recovery, the world may face a nuclear crisis decades in the making. See, it's us, only us, who must stand up, speak out, and demand answers. How can we stay silent when weapons capable of erasing entire civilizations lie hidden in the shadows? How can we go on with our lives knowing that at any moment, everything we love, everyone we love, could be wiped away? Some may say, we've lived our time, we've seen enough, let the world be. But how can we think that way when we look into the eyes of our children? Innocent, unknowing, believing this world is a playground, safe, full of wonder. They trust us to protect them. They trust us to fight for them. So do we close our eyes pretending none of this matters? Or do we stand together and raise a question so loud, so urgent, that no government, no leader, no power in this world can ignore it? This is not just about us. This is about them. About the little hands that reach for ours. About the dreams that have just begun. about the future we must safeguard. We cannot afford to stay silent. Not now. Not ever. If you like the video, do hit that share button and subscribe.